Manager of the senior rugby team and treasurer of the rugby union. Mr. Nero, let me introduce you to a series of Acts 25.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we were chatting earlier with the captain and the coach about the tournament that is coming up on the 6th of July. I don't know if you would want to share with us now and the viewers, actually, some more details about this tournament, and we can really sell it to the public so the supporters, and maybe non-supporters, could get interested in the sport and come out.
Okay, maybe I can probably even put it in context. The tournament is actually called the North American and Caribbean Rugby Association Under-19 tournament. It really started in this phase of its life in 2001 when NACRA came into being. Trinidad actually won in 2001, and by virtue of that,
that's under-19.
The under-19.
Yeah, okay.
And we were afforded the opportunity to play in the what was then the under-19 World Cup, which took place in Italy. Since then, in 2009 to about 2011, we were, in terms of placing, we were fifth, and we moved up to third. We were second in the last two outings in Mexico last year and the year prior. So we're trying to go one step better and try to get the championship, now that's being held here in Trinidad and Tobago. The boys, my understanding, have been working very, very hard to achieve this particular goal. So, certainly we have the whole of the rugby fraternity behind them, and what we'd like to use the opportunity of through this medium and other is to get the wider public involved and some knowledge of the game. Traditionally, the game has a perception of being a rough game, and I must say, what we're trying to do is to create a rugby culture, and the only way to do that really is to spread the game and allow people to know more about the basics of the game, and we hope by that they'll see that the game is really an all-inclusive game. Men, women, and just about everybody can play at some level. So that's what we're trying to promote really, and particular emphasis on the age groups or the age grade groups, the under-19s, that would allow for the future of the sport and so on.
No, I see in the information that I got, there is a NACRA Cup and also a NACRA Trophy. The trophy includes Bahamas, Guyana, St. Lucia, TCI. Who's TCI?
Tips and Kickers.
Okay, and then you have the Cup where you have Pool A and B. Our first game is on July the 6th. How prepared are we by way of hosting the tournament? What is some of the things you all might still be short of, needed, things like that?
Well,
how prepared are we?
Well, we have a committee looking at the preparation for the tournament, looking at all the elements, which includes sponsorship, streaming aspects, the accommodation and transport in particular, the grounds and all of that. So they're all at various stages of preparedness, albeit to culminate at the right time on that day. Funding is always an issue, and what you find is that you have to basically budget and do the best that you can with the resources that you have while providing a good product. So we think we're well on the way there. We can always use more help in terms of from the sponsorship aspect, so as to improve the quality. But all the elements of the preparation, and we have a meeting again tomorrow morning to have a look at where we are and to go through the checklist just to make sure that we're on time. So just to say that we think that we have it covered.
Okay. What would you like the public to know about this tournament? How would you like to sell this tournament to the public? Because we have not seen much advertising thus far concerning this, right? how do you when the committee or whoever it is, I don't know if you'll be able to give me that information, your plan to sell this to the general public?
Well, this, for example, is a good start, and it's more than a start from the point of view that we are preparing some media packages in order to go out and sensitize through the public, the media houses, as to some background about the game, about the tournament, and profiling the players and so on. But what I guess we would want, several things we want out of this in terms of objectives. I guess the first would be to bring to the public a product like rugby and educate them more about the game. Hopefully, through the games, they would know more about the rules and hence try to appreciate what the game is about. A number of people would have seen or heard of rugby or be touched by it through the work of our development program, through our youth development officers, and so therefore they will get an opportunity to come out and view the game in its entirety. Sometimes you can't appreciate the game just through some of the development aspects, as you would see just a portion of it and how it all comes together. There are a few other objectives. One would be an element of sports tourism. There will be a lot of teams in here, about 8 teams coming through who will come with their supporters. All the games will be streamed, so the audience is wider than the Trinidad and Tobago audience. And so we're hoping that the opportunity of showcasing rugby in Trinidad, particularly at age grade level, would allow for a number of colleges and other teams who would be looking to have rugby played through by their groups, and of course we would want to have our own dedicated public the opportunity to see a national squad play. One of the things that you can't downplay is the element of regardless of what sport it is, the potential for the kind of patriotism and so to be had through seeing a national team play, encouraging other youths to pick up the sport and so.
Okay. Let me go across to the coach. You have just under 2 weeks remaining to get your team, peaking for the 6th, because the first game is against Mexico, right? What are some of your plans? How are you going to be going? The practice matches, what's happening for the next 2 weeks?
For the next 2 weeks, what we're doing is, I don't want to overwork them, right? Because there's too much rugby, and they won't be focused. So we normally train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday mornings. Tuesday and Thursday, they normally go back to their club, train, they do the rest, they do whatever. But for the next 2 weeks, on the Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to go around to 4 different clubs at the Savannah, which will be Howards, Northerns, Royals, and Carries. Just so that they get a different, environment, different coaching, different aspect, It's something new that I'm trying to see, where people can focus, because, I've been with them for so long that after a while they just get tired of hearing my voice, they get tired of hearing Brendan Farrell's voice, and it's the same training, and I can't put everything that will happen into a game as in practice, So a lot of it is just trying to tell them to lead now by example. I'm not going to be playing; they have to be playing. So they have to make all the decisions. Whether it be right, whether it be wrong, But they will have to start making it. So for them to try and think, we have a plan that we want to play to, but as in life, nothing ever always goes to plan. It's how you react is going to be the big thing. Mexico going to be big, we're going to be tough, and once we take our chances and really capitalize on the chances that we get, stop them from playing, stop them from having the ball. There's no stopping us.
What is the biggest strength in our team?
The unity. because they've been playing together, for about 3 years through the system. They've gone on 2 tours, through the schools, the Trinidad and Tobago schools rugby football unit to Barbados, where they've played 2 foreign teams from England. They've played Barbados. So they've had that tour environment that they're going to, and now they're going into work from the school unit from Mr. Gregory Farrell, Ronnie Lansing, Graham Chin, that have helped these boys, prepare themselves. So they're not going out there to something they haven't played, So we say practice matches. Yes, we'd like practice matches, but the level of what we need, we either have to go away or have a team coming, that's not going to happen in the next 2 weeks, but, at least, the intensity that they need to play at, you don't need to go away for that, all that comes from inside, comes from your heart, comes from knowing what you're going to do, when you're going to do it.
How fit is the team? Any injuries, any worries in that?
Knock on wood, the team is, very fit, and I must commend the fact that this tournament there are actually 10 teams, all right, because there are 2 tiers, which hasn't happened before. So there's a first tier, and then there's a second tier, and from the level of boys that we have playing that came into the sport, that we can actually field 2 teams, all right. So really and truly, Trinidad actually has 46 players playing in this tournament, so I can't complain. They're fit, I think they're ready, and they're very excited, which actually surprised me, because normally I thought they would be excited to be traveling, but I think having to play in front of their home crowd, having to play in front of their friends, their girlfriends, mothers, fathers, sisters. I think
so what's the first game?
I guess the captain could answer that more than me, distractions.
Distractions in terms of friends, family, special people. I think that the team is one focused enough that when they hit the pitch, if they hear their friends and their family cheering, they'll take it on. But really, they'll be focused on the pitch. They won't have anything that could distract them from the game enough to affect their performance. I think that they want it enough, then it won't be a problem.
How physical is this for Rugby? I was talking about being a big when I see you coming that say, how physical is it in Rugby?
I'd say it's more of a CrossFit. So that, say football, you would need more cardio fitness, and then they have other sports, weightlifting, where you need the muscle. But rugby is something where they expect a little bit at least of everything, all up at the high levels, where somebody could be strong as a weightlifter, they want them to be fast as a way forward on a football field, and they want them to be as intelligent as, hopefully, a chess player. You don't see it so much, but you want all 3 of these things to come together in a rugby player, and hopefully that's the level that we're aspiring to reach.
Coming out of this tournament, what do you like to come out from this tournament? Besides we actually winning the championship, what do you like to come out from this championship?
Well, I personally, I don't know if I can speak for the whole team on this, but I want interest. I want people to be interested in the sport, for parents to see that the sport is not the most brutal thing in the world and that their children can play in it. I want to be able to see that afterwards, people from Trinidad are just a little bit more interested, so that the sport can grow. The sport is only going to grow if more people become interested and start playing from younger. So even if we don't win this year the way we intend to, I want to see that people will start to play this year, next year, the years after, so that in 5-10 years we'll be much more formidable.
Because you really convince people, because I was watching a rugby game recently, right? And I see a man make a dive, and I see a heap of people on top of him. You ain't see me, man, and how the man do there, you know what I mean? When you look at it suddenly, because I mean, not only in rugby, but they're in martial arts and other sports, the first thing they look at the safety. The first thing they look at, man, go there and you know it. Yeah, so how do you convince? I mean, you as a rugby player, I mean, I ask the coach to say this, but you as a player, how do you convince, a mother or father that, okay, rugby is safe?
Well, The first thing I personally like to bring up is my track record. I have never been injured badly enough in a rugby match in my last 3-4 years playing that anybody had to take me off the pitch. They have a couple of things that could happen in any sport. Somebody falls on you and if you fall awkwardly, some people break a collarbone or something. But that doesn't happen every single game. Just as in any sport, there's going to be a risk. But really, and also every year, we see that scrums, rucks, the rules, because the players are getting bigger, get more intense. Not to bog down the game, but the International Rugby Board is making an effort to make the game safe so that people would still be interested in the sport and that people could play consistently and you won't lose your players.
That's what I tell you, because only this weekend I went to a football game. I saw a goalkeeper wearing my bubble. And I mean, the man came out after start 1 hour game. And the man came out badly wounded. Mark here, that's all about. So he said, this is a sport, you know, but Bubba is a strong fella, so he will recover. Now, the coach, you're going to be held responsible for other things. I mean, okay, well, let's see, like, tell me, you know, I'll take a break, but I'm not going to go for 2 minutes and answer the question, and then we'll answer the come back. In every sport, the coach is being held responsible for the performance of the team. Or when the coach is not playing and he just coaches the team, right? What is your expectation of the team, and how do you handle criticism as a coach? You answer them in come back. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back. We're going to be talking rugby, and don't forget the rugby tournament on the 6th of July. On the 19th, trying to be able, please be patriotic, go out and support. Games are played at the physical stadium and Fatima ground. Stay tuned to us 25, you'll get more information. The calling station will give more information about this tournament. But we'll be right back.